Let's be honest, would it really be a COD update if there weren't hidden changes made both intentionally and unintentionally? I'm not sure that it would be, but it's okay because we don't have to debate that today because the trend of stealth and hidden changes continues on with Season 2 Reloaded, bringing with it a handful of notable ones. Today, we're breaking those down, so as we go along, drop your thoughts down below what you think of these changes and the overall nature of Season 2 Reloaded so far for Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and DMZ. If you enjoy the video, you'll find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and if you're new, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you in the community. Finally, this video is brought to you in part by my friends over at Apex Gaming PCs, but more on them a bit later. For now, let's examine the stealth changes that were made for Modern Warfare 2 with Season 2 Reloaded. Starting out on the multiplayer side of things, there are a handful of cool things here, both from a gameplay perspective, but also maybe not necessarily in the gameplay loop itself. Firstly, the animation for calling in streaks is a bit faster now at this point, which is a massive one. That was something that myself and plenty others have gotten caught in, that where you get pulled out into a hip fire at the very best, and sometimes it's just not the best of timing. So this is definitely a step in the right direction, I think, for just some quality of life and some functionality with the gameplay animations, but it's one you may have noticed, maybe not so much. Additionally, the kill feed is now longer, where it will show more players in that kill feed as well. So if you're somebody that likes to go and play for feeds, you like to end up hitting sniper headshot feeds or whatever the case, you can now do that and get more of those involved in that kill feed. Definitely nice and a more minor change, but again, for some people, it very much so improves the experience for multiplayer itself. Now, beyond that, some customization discussion here. We saw that we actually have more stuff previewed for what's upcoming than we normally will get. We've seen this happen a couple of times throughout Modern Warfare 2 and games prior, but in various different formats. But this time around, all operator uniforms are already in the game files that are visible for the update and what we see beyond outwards of Season 3. So what's going to be coming for the next couple of weeks between Season 2 Reloaded and Season 3, all that stuff for the operators at least are available to preview right up front. All you have to do seriously is just go over to your operators tab, and then where you have the ability to customize, well, if you choose an operator, you look at those skins available, there's gonna be a lot more that are locked than you currently have or that are currently in the shop right now. Some having existing shop bundles already available, some just showcasing as locked, and it's a cool little way to preview what's still upcoming. But if you don't really care too much about the operator selection here, one additional step further this Season 2 Reloaded update put forth was actually a way that, of course, you can see stuff in the game currently with the store tab, but to a degree, even preview them in game. That being a sort of workaround in ranked play where you can end up going in and equipping any blueprint that you want that is still in the store or still upcoming. For that, all you have to do is go into your creative class, choose one of the weapons here that you have available on offer. Not everything will be available because some things are just completely banned within ranked play, so they won't show up. But from there, you can go over to the store tab and then use the left trigger to equip weapon and open gunsmith. That allowing you to quite literally take this thing into the gunsmith, then into the firing range to see how you like it, and you can see it actually equipped in your creative class itself. Now, as of recording this, I haven't jumped into ranked play to check to see if this actually lets you have it in game. My massive assumption would be that it doesn't, that it just spawns you with your fists instead, just like how we saw with some other weapon loading errors in the past. But that's something that's a weird little workaround here that allows you to test these in game as opposed to buying them and then testing them out. So interesting little workaround. Could be cool for some people, maybe inconsequential for others, but that was something that was added with this update as well. Additionally, on the multiplayer side of things, we saw two smaller things in terms of just in-game notifiers as of this update. Firstly, the battle pass and sort of XP events end up having notifications in-game now, where it'll show up as double XP, double weapon XP, double battle pass XP, right whenever you start the game. It seems like in some cases it can be hit or miss where it doesn't happen, but I did notice that as of this update, we are seeing that happen as of these actually going out. And then additionally, the challenge notification has been updated once again. So that notification you get when you complete, say, a camo challenge or something like that, that has now been adjusted, where previously it was just that chalice of sorts saying, hey, you completed the challenge, but it didn't give you any details whatsoever. Then we had a two-dimensional banner, but now we actually have a splash of color here and a bit of depth to it, which does look a little bit nicer, I think, in presentation. It does appear, though, that these challenges are kind of bugged in a sense, where it doesn't tell you entirely what's completed, i.e. the with and blank on this image from Blaze Ryan 11 on Reddit. But that's your multiplayer hidden changes. Jumping over to Warzone, we see a little bit more built out for the leaderboards and the combat record for Battle Royale. But for those that end up playing Battle Royale, you'll notice that you do have leaderboards now that showcase career, kills, placement, critical damage, gulag, and game mode statistics. Now, that's something that is pretty cool to see all of this, but apparently it's not accurate. Like, at all from what I've seen reported. And also, apparently the combat records don't necessarily match up with leaderboards either, so it seems like one is tracking further back than the other. Maybe there's just some things that aren't tracking one-to-one entirely, but you do have new leaderboards to play around with. Again, seeing where you stack up career-wise, globally, and on your friends list, kills, placement, critical damage, and the gulag. So stuff that is maybe trivial to you, but some cool stuff you can keep an eye on. Then finally in Warzone, Dead Silence is now added back into the loot pool, so just be aware of that. Now, before we move on, I want to let you know about my friends over at Apex Gaming PCs, a performance build company here that I've been working with the last few months. If you've seen the videos, you've seen the gameplay and the just absolute incredible performance of my rig and what they're capable of. Whether you want to go overkill like me and have a 4090 powering your gaming and workstation, making renders and edits a breeze, pushing 200 plus FPS at 4K ultra res, or just something more basic like a starter PC, they've got you covered with the best hardware and service, everything you could want. If you'd like to head over to the link in the description below and learn more, they've got a few custom tailored built systems for the community already built there that can either be fully customized or purchased as is to make the process as simple as possible. Additionally, if you use code ESPRESSO, that'll net you a few hundred off your next order, so check the link in the description below if you're at all interested to learn more about Apex Gaming PCs or pick up something for yourself, and thanks to Apex Gaming PCs for sponsoring this video. But that said, let's get back to the regularly scheduled content. Next up, DMZ. The big thing here with DMZ that was added under the radar was the inclusion of combat records for DMZ. This is something that does take 5 games to complete, 5 extractions, 5 failures, but you'll be able to end up jumping in and seeing a handful of stats here that allows you to compare yourself to any friends that may be curious on how you're doing in DMZ. We also saw that Building 21 had an adjustment where it's back to unlimited uses per keycards. One thing that was mentioned within the patch notes was that you now no longer need to take those keycards in on your deployment, but instead it seems like by doing so, it doesn't actually burn those cards either. So you can take them in, but you're at risk then of losing those cards, but it is something that if you have one in your inventory, you're good to go for the immediate future. Who knows if that'll get patched again or not, but it is something that it does not burn at the moment from what's been reported. Additionally, there was for a split second, it has since been adjusted and is now patched, but bots were counting towards the headshots for the Path to Ronin challenge. If you guys caught that very early on, that was something that probably helped out tremendously in terms of completing that event, because I'll be totally honest, doing like 4 polyatomic guns by comparison for like the assault rifle headshots, the SMG headshots, it's kind of a pain going through all of it, but I mean, it is what it is. We have the rest of the season to do that, but it was a nice little shortcut for those that may have been interested. Then finally, on the global side of things here in regards to additional changes, there was the added FSR 2.1 upscaling and sharpening option. This is AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution tech, meant to give higher resolution frames from lower res inputs, similar to how NVIDIA uses their specific upscaling for DLSS and the sharpening options there. So that was something that was added in under the radar for AMD GPU users on the PC version of the game, so definitely nice to see more accessibility and more options to utilize your current tech to help the game perform a little bit better. Now, that said, that is some changes that were made under the radar, but as with every single update, while we have some changes that are good or just kind of changes that you may be impartial on, there's kind of always going to be changes that are unintended bugs that end up happening. So running down a few of those here, that if you noticed, you're not crazy. We saw the Tempest Torrent stock attachments. Those are all still locked despite being air quote new. That's something that ends up having to deal with the M4 platform, and even if you have the M4 completely unlocked, you still can't, for whatever reason, use those stock attachments as of recording this video on the Tempest. An additional thing that's kind of a bummer is it seems like there was an increase on the graphical noise on PC, something that kind of distorts the graphical fidelity of the game itself, which is obviously not something we'll want to see. Camo challenges apparently have not been tracking again. Attachments may have been removed on your first 1 or 2 loadouts in multiplayer and Warzone after the update. That seems to be a regular occurrence here at this point after the last 2 major updates that we've seen. Custom blueprints appear to be locking again sometimes, even after you just create them. That's been an issue since Season 2 launched. Players in Warzone can drop in, but they'll start out in a down state. That's a rare bug, but it's something that I've seen as well. And then the in-game notifications may just be driving you up a wall because they are sometimes entirely way delayed, but also then kind of trying to backlog and then playing back to back to back to back to back on everything. So if somebody has a 5 kill streak, a UAV, a counter UAV, or something like that, they captured a flag, those notification banners will then come in droves as opposed to just coming in as they happen. happen. That seems to be something that is randomized, but you'll see in game perhaps, and that still has not been fixed out. So there definitely are some things that are unfortunate, unintended changes that were made under the radar, but of course, also the ones that we talked about earlier in the video that are some changes that can help out your gameplay or cool features maybe added in, whatever the case, but that is what we're going to call it. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of these secret changes, these stealth changes? As always, with an update for COD, it seems like we have these on deck and doesn't seem like that's going to be stopping anytime soon. So let me know your thoughts down below on what your thoughts are on this. And if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and anything COD related. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.